Hello friends, for today's video I'll be taking a look at these two 1/24 scale kits of the Porsche 959 that competed in the 1986 Paris to Dakar Rally. Both are resin and both are from ModellingMaster. So why the different boxes? Well, that's what we're here to discuss in today's Modelling Motorsport. First of all, let me give you a rough history of ModellingMaster and just why we have two kits from the same company. In the late noughties, a gifted model builder by the name of Roman, along with a couple of his equally gifted friends, had found a growing interest in wanting copies of his kit conversions, or transkits as they're known in automotive modelling terms, of the kits that he was building. By 2011 they had released their first few small transkits, but by the end of that year they had completed their first major conversion set, a transkit for the Tamiya Porsche 959, to build it as the Rally Raid version from the 1986 Dakar, which is this box I have here on the left that I purchased around 2012. After a few years, the number of new releases had slowed down, the company appeared dormant, and sadly, sometime in 2019, Roman suffered a stroke at the age of 49 and passed away. The remaining members of the ModellingMaster team took some time to grieve and assess, and in 2020 decided to rejuvenate the brand and move forward with new kits, as well as updating and re-releasing some of their past sets, the first of which being the Dakar Porsche I have here on the right. Now before we delve into the contents, let me tell you the main differences between these two kits. The original is a trans kit for the Tamiya plastic kit, from which you will need the engine and transmission parts, some suspension components and some of the glazing. The new version does away with the need for the Tamiya kit, replacing all needed plastic parts with resin copies. The new one also features opening doors and bonnet, or hood, with updated detailing for these areas, whereas the original only featured an opening engine cover. Now you can see that the new one has 5 of 25 June 20 written on it, indicating its limited availability. I believe this is only the case for this first run, and it will be the only batch for 2020, but more will be produced starting from next year. So you may be expecting this new one to cost a lot more, what with the limited runs, the extra detail, as well as nearly 10 years worth of inflation added. The original cost me in 2012 around £145, that included the purchase price as well as postage to the UK. The 2021 cost me £80 including postage. Yes, £80. The new lower price has been achieved by bringing the casting process in-house. So has this affected the quality of the end product? Let us look inside the boxes to find out. Now for the purpose of this review, I've removed all packaging material from both kits, both of which were very well packaged and I received no breakages during transit. Also, with having the original kit for 8 years, during that time I've cleaned up the moulding excess from the body and chassis parts, whereas with only having the latest release a couple of days, it is still fresh as it left the factory, as it were. Okay, so let's have a look at what you got in the original 2011 release. Upon opening the box, you're presented with a nice set of instructions. Then, the main parts of the kit, the body and chassis in their own bag. A series of smaller bags then contain the rest of the kit, with one for the rubber tyres. Interestingly, the tyre for the spare wheel is cast in solid resin. And then a bag with the glass parts. Also in the box is some rubber material intended for you to make mud flaps, a small threaded photo etch, and lastly, the decals. Looking closer at the included bags, we can see that the main two include all of the larger items like the underguards, engine cover, roll cage, dashboard, etc., with the smaller bags containing smaller, more delicate pieces. Looking at the body and chassis parts, you can see that whilst I've cleaned them up in the past, there is no filler anywhere on them. This is a truly exceptional piece of casting, and at the time it was second to none. All of the lines are crisp, and all of the reinforcement braces that you'll see on the new version were able to be removed without causing any damage to the model itself. Looking at the instructions, they tell you all the info you need at the top, like what mark denotes paint and part numbers, decal numbers, and so on. Obviously, the first few steps are taken straight from the Tamiya 959 instructions and modified to suit this kit. But overall, these are very nice, clear, and easy to follow. And at the back is a parts guide, which is handy for checking everything is present and correct, as well as a painting and decal guide. And on the back, a few pictures of Roman's finished build to serve as a showpiece of what this kit delivers. Now let's have a look inside the 2020 release. Upon opening the box, you are presented with a similar view as before. The body is packed with the chassis piece, and as you can see there is tape holding the doors and bonnet closed. Next, there are 8 numbered bags, followed by the photo etch fret and the decals. Bag 1 appears to have the engine, which is very nicely cast, as well as the associated parts for that, Bag 2 appears to have the suspension components. Bag 3 has the roll cage, seats and dashboard. Bag 4 looks to be the rest of the interior parts, with Bag 5 holding just some small minor parts. Bag 6 has the engine cover as well as the underguards, with 7 having the wheels and tyres, interestingly all rubber tyres included this time. And finally Bag 8 has the glazing parts. A closer look at the chassis part shows that this is identical to the original release. My kit has suffered from a break just here. This looks to be an easy fix though. And just here, there's some large casting blobs. These look impossible to remove without damaging the detail. Cutting this out and replacing is potentially the only solution. Looking at the body, again a couple of minor defects. These all look to be a result of bubbles in the casting process. They're fairly easy to fill though. So on the whole, this is very nicely cast. A quick comparison with the other kit body shows some of the main updated features, aside from the opening doors and bonnet with associated detail. An excellent addition here is that the rear lights and front indicator lights had the reflector buckets and bulbs moulded in, compared to the original which is just flat. One key difference between this version and the other is that there is no included instruction book. Having spoken to ModellingMaster, they say that the instructions for this kit will be published on their Facebook page as an album with pictures and descriptions. At the time of the recording of this video, this album hasn't been published yet, but I am assured that as of August 24th, 2020, it will be online. A quick comparison of the etch sets shows that these are identical between the two kits. And the same goes for the decals, which look to have good colour and register. So which kit is better? Honestly, the new one. Yes, the older release did include instructions, mud flap material and the moulding was perfect, but the new one is almost half the price. It doesn't require a donor kit and has extra detail included. Hopefully there will be further production runs in the future and the price can remain the same so that everyone can get themselves one of these kits and any future ones that they might release. I'll leave a link to their Facebook page in the description below if anyone wishes to go check them out. I should add that I bought both these kits myself and I'm in no way affiliated or sponsored by ModellingMaster. So I hope you've enjoyed my review and comparison of the 1986 Porsche 959 in 1/24 by ModellingMaster. Until next time, ta-ta!